Hello all, we are back with some Sage 24 and I wanted to do an individual showcase for the Super Freaks games. There are 4 of them here this year and so we are going to try them all. So we are going to do this in alphabetical order. So the first game up is Super Freaks 1 Ultimate Edition 3.0. This is a 2D platformer that has some colorful characters and stages. There's a few characters to choose from, but I like Scruffy, so I chose him. And at least I think his name was Scruffy. He looks like a superhero, and pretty much in this game, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making your way to the end of the stage. Simple enough, right? You'll do so by jumping on enemies, wall kicking through tight spaces to get up to high places, and there will be these colorful spears in the stage that you can also collect. It's completely optional, and I think they work like the coins in Super Mario Bros. Where after you collect 100 of them, you will gain an extra life. So you can also play as the bad guys in this game, which is pretty neat. You know, you can play as both the good and the bad characters, and they will have their own dialogues and cutscenes, similar to Sonic Adventure 2. So this game also had controller support, so I think that it was a great entry. I really enjoyed this one. The next game up is Super Freaks Arcade. This is an old school game that has like an 80s look to it, and you can select your Super Freak like Scruffy, King Quincy, etc. Your objective in this game is to collect all the spears in the stage while avoiding the enemies. The normal troopers that you will encounter, those guys can be jumped on and you can destroy them that way. But the other enemies, you cannot. Especially like there's this one enemy, I think they're either waving knives or they have kind of like a scissor head or something. You definitely want to avoid that guy. So while you're playing this, there is another character that will appear on your screen, like vanishing and reappearing, and they will throw down spears that you can collect. However, they will also throw down enemies that will harm you. So in this game, like in the corners, sometimes you'll see like these stars, and when you collect those stars, it will make you invincible, and you know it will last for a brief period of time. And while this happens, you can run into all the enemies and just damage them, and I guess it'll give you extra points or just simply clear the stage for you. So you can also walk off the screen and appear on the opposite side, similar to like those old school Mario Bros games and the Pac-Man games. And when you die, it also plays the Wilhelm scream, which I thought was pretty funny. It actually does that in a few of these Super Freaks games. So this one was another good one in my opinion. I thought that it had that old school feel to it, but it still felt modernized enough for you to really enjoy it and sink some time into it. Next, we have Super Freaks Presents Stratos Freaks 2. This is a shoot 'em up game that you actually navigate where you want to go. It's not going to be like an auto-scrolling game, kind of like, you know, the Gradius and stuff like that. At least from the portion that I've played. From what I've played, you know, the stage wasn't auto-scrolling. So you can choose from actually quite a large number of characters, especially for a shoot 'em up game. There's like quite a few characters to choose from. And some of them have alternate looks. In this video, I was using Scruffy, and he also had his classic look. So you'll see me using that classic look a bit here. And it's like kind of like that look from the old Stratos Freaks game. So it's a nice nod to that. So when it comes to the gameplay, not much to say about the abilities themselves. It's mostly just you move and you shoot. There is a button that you can hold down so you can continuously face in a certain direction, like kind of like a strafe button in case you want to like fire to the right while still being able to move to the left, you know. So that's pretty useful. And you just, you know, fire your normal bullets. There was a big sword that I got, and it lasted for literally like a couple seconds after I got the power up. There was like this big sword that started swinging and destroying some enemies, and it was kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, didn't last long. It was kind of underwhelming. So basically, your objective in this game is to just grab a lot of spears and save a lot of people. there is a time limit, and if the time limit gets down to 0, there will be an enemy that will appear and they will start chasing you. So I'm not exactly sure if this enemy can be beaten or not, as when I was trying to run away as well as fight them, I actually died and lost here. So when I started up and I did a second run, I actually saved a lot of people, grabbed as many spears as I can, and then ran into this portal where I was then teleported into this boss room. And after I defeated the boss, I had cleared the stage. So honestly, when I was playing this game, I'd say, man, it's just another banger. You know, like I don't remember the Super Freeze games bringing this much good content, but I am actually enjoying all of them so far. This game also has controller support, so I highly recommend this one. The last game up is Super Freak's side story, Scruffy Minus, The Rise of Anti-Freaks. So, in this game, it is a 2D platformer, and it features the cast of Scruffy, Quincy, and you know, the others. This game has more of an older Microsoft Paint look to it, and honestly, it was just funny seeing all the doodles of these characters and the cutscenes and them screaming at each other with all the dialogue. I just had a good laugh at it. So while I was playing this, I was playing as Scruffy, and I have the ability where like I could do like a dash and it shows like these after images, and it's good for like closing gaps after you launch off of a spring or something like that. So you could actually switch characters in this game at the push of a button. You will swap to someone else. The other character that I was swapping to, I'm actually not exactly sure what this guy's name was, but he looked like kind of like a boxer, and he could throw out these red balls that would damage the enemies. So, you know, it was like a projectile, and it was kind of like high damaging. Scruffy, I don't think could do damage at all, maybe with the exception of jumping on enemies. I don't really remember. But pretty much I would use Scruffy for traversing the stage, and I would use the boxer guy whenever it came to like the fights. So when it came to the level design, it wasn't really anything crazy. It was just some simple platforming with a few springs and rockets that you can use for getting to high places. There were some conveyor belts as well in the stage, but not too many. There wasn't any bottomless pits present, which I am actually not going to complain about because I hate them things anyway. So I'll say that this game was okay. You know, it wasn't as good as the others, but it's still acceptable. So I'm going to shut down here. That was all the Super Freaks games at this year's Sage. And I gotta say, when rating them all as a whole, I'd say that it was a banger. I'm actually quite shocked that someone could submit multiple entries and all of them are actually good. So big thanks to the Super Freaks dev and Regal25 for the games. If you're still here, leave a like or a dislike on this video to help support me, and subscribe to the channel if you're feeling generous. I will see you all next time.